Oh, Obama, Obama, oh, oh. Obama, Obama, oh, oh. Obama, Obama, oh, oh. Obama, Obama.
This here's that new hit, Michelle Obama, the floatist. This one's for the middle class. This term's my last. I got work, you see. Free community college and roads to fix in the city. Got vacation days to use up, and damn, my golf shot's pretty. I'm too hot. Hot damn. Climate change has got me on fire, man. I'm too hot. Hot damn. Teabaggers call me a liar, man. I'm too hot. Hot damn. Hope and change, you know who I am. I'm too hot. Hot damn. And the redistribution of money, check it out. Tax increase, hallelujah. Woo! Tax increase, hallelujah. Woo! Tax increase, hallelujah. Woo! Obama bunk's gonna stick to you. Obama bunk's gonna stick it to you. Obama bunk's gonna stick it to you. A massive spending will never stop. Don't believe me, just watch. Let me be clear. I'll say it again. Republicans, don't believe me, just watch.
Oh, Obama, Obama, oh, oh. Obama, Obama, oh, oh. Obama, Obama, oh, oh. Obama, Obama.
This here's that new hit, Michelle Obama, the floatist. This one's for the middle class. This term's my last. I got work, you see. Free community college and roads to fix in the city. Got vacation days to use up, and damn, my golf shot's pretty. I'm too hot. Hot damn. Climate change has got me on fire, man. I'm too hot. Hot damn. Teabaggers call me a liar, man. I'm too hot. Hot damn. Hope and change, you know who I am. I'm too hot. Hot damn. And the redistribution of money, check it out. Tax increase, hallelujah. Woo! Tax increase, hallelujah. Woo! Tax increase, hallelujah. Woo! Obama bunk's gonna stick it to you. Obama bunk's gonna stick it to you. Obama bunk's gonna stick it to you. A massive spending will never stop. Don't believe me, just watch. Let me be clear. I'll say it again. Republicans, don't believe me, just watch.
On this week's episode of According to Me and Bunny, Halloween Spooktacular. I share why I think Halloween is overrated. Kind of sucks as an adult. Sam, of course, will call me a commie once again. Plus, we'll talk Halloween candy by state, live taste test on the air, Halloween-related stuff. Very special asshead of the week, but we start with the GOP debate and our thoughts. That's now on According to Me and Bunny. Here's the story of Polita Bunny. Annoying liberals on Twitter was her goal. She had a radio show, and it was badass, with lots of fans and lots of trolls.
Here's the story of a guy named Jason who had an awesome internet talk show of his own. There were lots of voices on the air together, but he did it all alone. And one day Barney messaged him on Facebook, and they knew the NSA would be appalled that these two would do a show together. And now you're about to hear what it is called.
According to me
and Bunny.
According to me
and Bunny. This is the theme song for According to Me and Bunny.
From the Kensington Place Studios, this is According to Me and Bunny, Barack Obama and Donald Trump's second most hated internet radio program. The 2-hour show that lasts 60 minutes. And during those next 60 minutes, sit back, be prepared to be informed, entertained, possibly offended. According to Me and Bunny, of course, as you know, little dress code, little information we got to share with you. Listening is mandatory, but pants are, of course, are always optional. And tonight especially, goosh pants are recommended. And if you don't know what goosh pants are, you missed last week's episode. Shame on you. But I'm Jason DeWilkins, And joining me, my co-host out in the Wild West somewhere, and the only thing that scares the left more than a Ted Cruz presidency would be her going after you on Twitter.
Little bunny foo-foo, hopping through the internet, scooping up some liberals and bopping them on that.
Good evening, Sam Janney.
Hey, Jason DeWilkins. How are you?
I'm wonderful. So, without any further ado, let's
wait a
get right
second.
into it, because we have an action-packed show.
Wait a second.
Okay.
I have to ask. I have this reputation for being just this mean person. And honestly, I'm pretty sweet, don't you think?
All right, so let's get into the show.
Rotten hell.
You are the sweetest, meanest person I know.
I really am fucking sweet, right? I'm so tired.
Yeah,
of
absolutely. I
being
mean, just that statement alone really, really puts you in that kind of category. So we have a jam-packed episode filled with taste tests. I have a pumpkin beer here in the Kensington Place studio. I am ready to roll. We are going to have a great Halloween spectacular in the back half of the show because I love Halloween so much. We'll talk about that later on in the program. But let's get started with a couple things we do need to discuss. Namely, of course, the reason why we're starting at 10 p.m. Eastern here on K98 Talk. And thanks for you, those who are in the chat room. We got some folks who are admitting they're not sober already. So that's a good thing. And to get through CNBC's coverage of this debate, I would encourage drinking. So if you were already on that path, congratulations. You made the right decision. But let's just back and forth here, Sam. What did you think of the debate or what you're able to see of it? What were your thoughts on it?
Well, I have to be honest. I only sat for about 45 minutes to an hour of it because the CNBC moderators were just garbage. And, I understand that they're trying to make it exciting. I understand that they want people to watch and pay attention. But it was like they were combative from the get-go. And I know Harvard is a piece of crap. I know I kind of expected him to act that way. But whoever that woman in the middle was a terrible hag. And the other guy was trying to play nice and be fun. But what they were really doing was trying to make every Republican up there fight and then look stupid in the process.
No,
so I didn't make it. I couldn't stand it that long.
Well, let's talk about that here really quick is in regards to, again, if you've listened to our debate wrap-up shows before in the past, I'm the dork that creates a spreadsheet and takes notes during the debate. So in my column of the coverage on my spreadsheet, I said, by far and away, by miles, the worst moderators I've ever heard. In any debate
garbage.
I've ever heard in my entire life. Like,
Candy
worst by a
was
mile. And people still complain about CNN was amazing in comparison to
Candy
this.
Crowley was better
Oh,
than these
yeah.
three people.
Oh, yeah, Candy Crawley was great. She was fantastic in compared to these people. It was so clearly obvious. And I don't know if you got a chance to listen to the little kids table debate. But
I did.
In between the end of that and the beginning of this one, there was coverage, and it was just gut-wrenchingly awful. Of how we're here in Colorado, and let's look at all the people protesting this debate and ask them what they're thinking. Of
Did
course,
you see that?
Huh?
Did you see Moms Demand Action or whatever the
Yeah.
group? Shannon Watch group is there. Yeah.
And my
that was
question
funny.
is, and I don't know this, Sam, so you tell me because I may be wrong, or if those of you in the chat room, I just wrote, jotted this down as it was going on. Is Fox News going to have a Democratic debate? Are they going to have coverage of one of them?
I don't know.
I don't know
actually.
either.
But there's no way the Democrats would agree to that. And what was really great, and this
Well,
is
and that's the reason why I asked the question.
I turned it off finally because I knew when I saw Ted Cruz go after the moderators, I'm like, it's not going to get any better. I'm done. Because Ted Cruz, I've had him in my top 3, my top 5. I've complained that he's too close to Trump. I have encouraged him. I feel like he sits in Trump's shadow. Tonight, he kicked ass. When he went after those moderators and he said, have you listened to the questions you're asking us? You're asking one guy if he knows math. You're asking one guy if he's a villain. You're asking another guy. I mean, it was just on. And Cruz just went off. But, he did it in Cruz style. So it wasn't like Trump losing his temper and acting like a jackass. It was elegant and spot on and made those guys look like fools. I'm like, that's it. I'm done. Cruz is, if not number 1, my top 2 now. I have never seen anything like that.
I was completely enthralled, and I was like cheering because finally someone said to the media, "You guys are assholes." He said, "Not one of you is going to vote for us anyway," and we can tell that. So I mean, he was being funny, but you could tell he was frustrated. I loved it.
No, it was fantastic. And then Rubio later on actually said, if we're being challenged on super PACs and all that. You want to know the biggest super PAC on the Democratic Party? It's the mainstream media. Yeah. And huge applause for Rubio on that. And I got lots of thoughts in regards to kind of who did Rubio. What, the good, the bad, and the ugly as far as my overall assessment on the candidates and what they thought. Let's start with your favorite person, Sam. What did you think of Donald Trump this evening?
Of the time I watched, I found him, I could tell he was already ready to get beat up, and he seemed very defensive. And I know he was already complaining today that he didn't think that the debate would be fair. And then watching the moderators act like that, he actually has said something I agree with, which made me want to drink. He also made me laugh because Kasich come out in the beginning and they're like, well, tell us what your weakness is. And Kasich goes off on some rant about how, these other guys are idiots and doesn't answer the question. And it was just, when he said, there's a reason you're at that spot, you're polling 1%. And I hate the whole polling thing. I laughed my dumb head off.
And that's what I said. I said, Kasich is such a penis this evening. He's making me root for Trump.
It was so bad that I was like, Trump's right. And I hated to say that. I hated to agree with Donald Trump because everyone knows I'm not a fan. But here's the other thing that was odd about Donald Trump tonight for me. When he was up there and the moderators were going after, and it was like Harwood was doing it from the get-go. I was like, I had a moment of almost like, this is my uncle or my brother, and I can be a bitch to him, but you can't. I wanted to get in Harwood's face over Trump, and then I realized I was being crazy. But I had a moment of that. Back off my candidate, man. And I'm like, whoa, wait, he's not my candidate. It was weird. And I was sober, so yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, the moderators were clearly anti-Trump. I mean,
really pissed me
without
off.
a doubt. I mean, and again, I want to see Donald Trump. If Donald Trump's a man of his word, he excoriated Megyn Kelly for an unfair question. The questions he was asked tonight were just completely murder in comparison to what Megyn Kelly asked him.
And I don't know the dumb woman's name in the middle, but when she went after Carson and his tax plan, and she's like, I've looked at the numbers, and your numbers are wrong. I'm like, bitch, back up. Let him answer. It's like they wouldn't let him.
Because I'm sure she would have took Bernie apart last week on his,
Sure.
Yeah, and be like, well, the numbers don't really add up, Bernie. We'd have to tax the hell out of everyone to make this happen. I'm sure that happens.
Cruz is like, the Democrat debate, they're like, oh, wow, your hair's so pretty tonight. Nice to see you. There was nothing challenging those Democrats on that stage but Jim Webb. I mean, and Ted Cruz kind of made that point. He was just like, you be asking them what favorite color they have, and you're up here calling people, they don't know math, and you're calling people villains. I thought it was great. But I tell you, it was a really weird moment of, come on, I understand wanting to go after Trump because I like to go after Trump, but you're so obvious that it makes me mad, and I don't like the guy. So imagine what it did to people who do support him.
No, you're right. No, absolutely. It definitely infuriated them. The one thing I noticed also, there was a 50-minute gap between questions or any conversation at all with Donald Trump. 50 minutes. Oh, yeah. 5-0.
Well, usually Trump is like everything.
Yeah.
And I think they deliberately cut him out.
Well, but see, you could make the case that the more you get that guy to talk, the more damage he does. So if you're really trying to destroy him, just ask him all types of stuff.
Well, I think there was some weird game going on. I think they really wanted to hurt Fiorina, and I think they really wanted to hurt Rubio. And it was interesting because when they were introducing them as they went down, there was polite applause for Kasich and Bush. Rubio got a pop. Trump got a moderate pop. Carson got a moderate pop, but Fiorina's pop was huge in Colorado, which is not surprising because I'm sure, she has ties in Colorado still. But there was definitely some kind of agenda in those moderators tonight, and it was not about debating and letting Americans decide which candidate was right for the job. It was, we're going to shit on the Republicans and make them look stupid and combat with them. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah. That's what it was.
And by the way, besides Trump's sparring back and forth with Kasich, in which I was actually on Trump's side there.
I know.
His answer later on in the debate about gun-free zones was outstanding. Great job. Where he was just like, look, You're inviting psychos in by creating gun-free zones. We need to get rid of gun-free zones because all you're doing is asking for people to kill other people. And the reason why we have Marines and people at military bases who can't defend themselves, these are the bravest men and women that we have defending our country, and the fact that they are gun-free zones is insane, and that needs to end, and it will end. And I'm like, that's great, Trump, way to go. So, he did way better than I ever thought he would tonight. I think he did okay. I really did. And again, I'm not a huge fan, as everyone who knows. But
for me to say that, if you're listening, I am not a fan. I will take every opportunity I can find to punch him. And tonight I felt like he did the best he could possibly do. And it was like they were debating in front of a firing squad. It really felt like that. And I think he held his own. He didn't get pissed off. He did get kind of red in the face when they accused him of being a villain. He got kind of angry, but I noticed him really pull it in. So I will give him points for that.
Yeah, I think he did a good job. Talking Ted Cruz, like you had mentioned, balls of steel in regards to calling out CNBC or PCNBC, whatever you want to call them.
Political hotness, and he talked about his tax plan, which gave me goosebumps when he was talking about a flat tax at $36,000 or more, and then a corporate flat tax at 16% for a corporation. I was just like, because he was explaining why it would work. And thank you, Ron. It was Betsy Quick, whatever her name is. Thank you, Ron, for that in the chat.
The broad in the middle, right?
She was mocking Carson about how it was a tithe and 10% wouldn't be enough, and we'd have a $2 trillion deficit. She was a hag. I wanted to hit her. But what Cruz did was he said, well, here's how it works, and you didn't let Carson finish. And this is what we need to do. And then also Cruz hit on Social Security and how, we can't cut it, but here's what we can do to save it. And he pointed out that he's only 44. I'm like, oh my God, he's only 2 years older than me. But he points out he's 44, and he says, people in my generation have never expected to get Social Security. Never, because we've always just assumed it's going to be gone. And his ideas for making sure we have Social Security when we get older were brilliant. I mean, when he got to talk policy, I'm a Cruz fan, man. I thought that was awesome.
He did a really good job this evening, and I thought he did really good in the first debate. In the second debate, I thought he was meh. Tonight, he did a really, really good job. I really do. What do you think of Rand Paul in the time that you got a chance to see it? What did you think of Rand's performance?
I like Rand. That's the thing. I want Rand to do well. And I agree with him, but I'm not like when Ted Cruz was like, Social Security and flat tax, and we're going to do this. I'm like, yeah! And then Rand Paul's like, we're spending too much money. I'm like, yeah.
The thing, this is 3 debates in a row in which I've been disappointed. I've been disappointed in his performance.
He's awesome. He's a doctor. He does all these eye surgeries for free in third world countries. I mean, there's a lot of wonderful things about Rand Paul that I like him as a person. I think he would be a great leader, maybe. But the whole foreign policy piece, but again, do we want to police the world? I mean, it's just kind of, I'm not inspired, and I want to be inspired. I
haven't been inspired by him at all in any debate, and I'm sick and tired of this crap with Rand Paul, and I'm going to say this. I wrote this in, caps in my dork spreadsheet here. I am sick and tired of him ripping on the House of Representatives, and granted, they deserve to be ripped on. When John Boehner, when Rand Paul was critical of the debt ceiling, and which he's right in that, and he's critical of John Boehner and Paul Ryan essentially going to be the same thing, business as usual in the House, nothing's going to change. I cannot get past the fact, Rand, that you French kiss Mitch McConnell on a daily basis in the Senate. I can't get past it. And it pisses me off when you go after other Republicans in your party, but then you smooch up to the Crypt Keeper, the turtle himself, and that seems to be okay. It just pisses me off. I can't, it makes me so mad when he talks about the Washington machine. You kiss the ass of the Washington machine. Stop it.
Hey, Jason. I see people in the chat. They're saying we're cutting out in big chunks, just FYI.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's something on our end.
I hope not.
You probably broke something. Because you were so pissed off at Rand Paul, you broke something.
Maybe I did. Maybe I'll just have to be more. But I'm just sick and tired of it. It really makes me mad. Rand, I'm done with you. You're dead to me. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of it. I want to like you, Rand, but right now you're dead to me. Sorry. Done. Bye. See you later.
Well, I agree, and I just think, I wish because I love his ideas on his domestic ideas with school choice and helping inner city, but not a handout, but a hand up, and there's a lot of things that he does well, and his ideas are good, but I just,
But you can't attack people for being part of the machine and then kiss the ass of the machine.
No, and
you just can't do it.
No, I agree.
It's just disingenuous, and I see through it, Rand, and it's BS.
Yeah.
On a lighter note, I want to talk about something that I'm really excited about, Sam, and I figured I'd just share this with you on the air.
Uh-huh.
We are getting feedback in regards to how well our show is doing. And those of you in the chat, it's been amazing. So many people are listening for the first time. So many people are joining and listening to our program. The podcast listens have been outstanding. We're creating more sponsorships. We're raising funds like ever before. It's just been great. And
I love these people.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's really good. So that's great news. And it's such good news that I wanted to share this with you. And I figured I'd just do this on the air,
Sure, be honest. Transparency is good.
Things are going so well. We're going to cut our budget of the show and Politainment as a whole by 40%. But please know that is a good thing.
Explain to me how this works. So
we're going to do the same strategy Jeb Bush did. We're going to be kicking ass like we are, but we're going to cut our budget by 40% because that's what winners do.
Boy, he looked like crap tonight, didn't he?
He was awful. And of course, I'm talking in jest, but that's what's so funny about it is, Jeb Bush comes out and he's like, hey, look, things are fine. What are you talking about? I mean, we're doing great. I'm my own man. Things are going to be good. We got a lot of support. We're raising a lot of money, but we're just going to cut everything by 40%. And we're going to let go of a lot of our campaign staff. But hey, things are doing well.
He looked like an angry, bitchy old woman on that stage.
Yeah, he was bad tonight. And he needed tonight, really, and he didn't do anything with it. He didn't do anything with it. And I think it just makes him worse.
It was interesting because he starts going after Rubio. And Rubio points it out. He said, you know what? I've defended you and you've defended me. He says, but now you're going after me because we want the same job. Right. I was like, oh, damn.
No, absolutely.
So good.
Absolutely.
So good. I thought Jeb was awful.
Yeah, and when he was asked in the beginning, like, what's your weakness? And he talked about, like,
Trump has so gotten to him. You can tell.
Yeah.
That he cannot even be a professional in a debate.
And I think that Bush talks about when he's asked his weakness, which was a terrible opening question, by the way.
Well, that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to make
and he's like, well, I guess my weakness is I fail to look at things as negatively as other people. We're on the brink of greatness here. And I'm going, you are running as a Republican to replace Obama. No offense, you don't run on sunshine and lollipops, Jeb. But then the next question, he's like, look, we got 6 million people in poverty, more so than we did when Obama took office. What are you talking about? So we're on the brink of greatness, and then you're talking about how we have 6 million people more in poverty the next time you're asked to speak.
But here's the thing. I think what Jeb was trying to do, and the only people who would know what Jeb was trying to do are people like me, dorks, who pay attention to this stuff like I do. Jeb was like, Trump is crapping on the country, and I'm tired of it. I'm not going to run my campaign on crapping on the country. I'm going to say things are going to be better. We're going to work hard. Our country has always been great. Because there's like two extremes here. You do have Trump, who's like, Mexico has better leaders than we do, which really pissed me off when he said that. He's always talking about how bad things are so that when he is president, he can fix everything because he's magical. And that was kind of funny from one of the moderators. But what Jeb is trying to do is he's trying to say, look, America's a great country, and we have problems and we can fix them. But Jeb is so frazzled by Trump that Jeb can't really get that across. And the only people who are like, I get what you're saying, Jeb, are idiots like me who pay attention to this crap and we're like, yeah, Trump is really doing that. He was making digs at Trump without doing it. And at least Trump had the balls, I'm going to say it again, to go at Kasich and say what he said. It wasn't a sideways, nonsense that Jeb was doing. And he did it at Rubio, too, and when Rubio called him out. But that's what the moderators were trying to do. They were trying to create a cage match effect between the candidates to make it good TV.
It was despicable about how bad it was. But no, you're absolutely right. I think Bush is toast. I think he's done. It's
done.
Clear that he's done. Really quick, because I want to wrap things up before we get into our Halloween spectacular here.
Sure.
John Kasich was the absolute penis of the night. Just a jackass. The entire time, I was more mad at him than anybody else on the stage. Yes, including Rand Paul. He's like, my weakness is, well, I don't really care your question. Listen, we got candidates who are scaring old people. Well, that's because old people deserve to know the truth. And we keep, his marijuana law, or his answer was awful on that. His default answer is, I've spent lots of time doing this, and this. Newsflash, John. Look at the people leading the polls. They're not career politicians like you. Give it up, no. John. Go away now, please. Let Bobby Jindal actually move up to the big table, because he should be, and you can go to the little kids' table and be your little jackass self and go back to Ohio where you came from, because I can't stand you and you need to get off my television.
And I'm sorry, but if you're going to run for president, get a facelift if you look that bad.
Oh, God.
I understand, it's like not the manly thing to do, but his crap on his face flops around so much when he talks. I just want to get like little clothespins and pin it back. He needs to take care of his appearance. Look, we all make fun of Trump's hair, but Trump is impeccable. We all make fun of Jeb. Jeb is impeccable. Kasich looks like he came out of the streets or something and put a suit on and he's debating. He's got to take care of himself. He just looks like a schmuck.
He's awful. Well, we can all do him a favor and just go away. Now, please. Please go away. Mike Huckabee got no airtime whatsoever.
No one noticed.
And he needs to stop with the analogies. It seems like every time he talks, like, look, that's like this. It's like a one-legged chicken who's blindfolded and covered in maple syrup. That's what the Fed is. It's like, what are you talking about, Mike?
He's always in the pulpit. He's always given a homily,
Yeah, it's awful.
And he's trying to appeal to his base. His base is grandma at 70 years old. That's his base.
And his base is 3%. Congratulations. Yeah. Chris Krispy Kreme, once again, did pretty well.
He did fine.
I think he did okay. And I think his criticism of Obama on the police, outstanding. Yeah. Outstanding job. I think Ben Carson was sleepy once again. But here's my thoughts, and I want your opinions on this. He hasn't been good in any of the debates, in my opinion. But yet,
he's had one good line.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, he hasn't been good, but yet it hasn't stopped him, A, raising $20 million in the last quarter, which is tremendous. B, it hasn't stopped him from surging in the polls. So I guess the question we really need to ask ourselves is, how damn important are these debates anyway? Because at least when it comes down to the support of Ben Carson, if you are supporting Ben Carson because of his amazing speeches and his amazing way that he conducts himself in a debate, that just ain't happening. So, I don't understand it. I think that whether, the lady who asked him a question in regards to this 10% tax, he's like, well, no, it's actually closer to 15%. What was it, closer to 15 or is it 15? What is it?
There's just... I think that there's something very likable about Ben Carson. There's something very human about him and approachable about him. But he's never been my favorite guy. He's always been kind of in the middle or towards, he's been okay, but he doesn't inspire me. I would not feel comfortable with him going toe-to-toe with Putin. There's something about him that inspires people, but it's not being a leader of a country. And these debates, I can't understand him. I want him to hurry up and get on with it. And every time he answers a question, I get nervous because I'm afraid of what's going to come out of his mouth.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Real quick, Carly Fiorina, I thought she was good once again.
She's badass.
I love how the left loves to say, hey, look, Carly, you were in charge of HP, and just so you know, the stocks performed really poorly when you were the CEO. Since when are the left concerned about how well Wall Street's doing?
Never.
Like,
And
they hate Wall Street. The idea of shareholders making any money at all is the worst idea of all time, and it's crony capitalism at its best, but yet they're quick to point out, Carly, those stocks, let me tell you. So
Well,
what
you
happens
know,
if the
it's
stocks
obvious
perform well and a bunch of
they are.
rich fat cats made a lot of money under Carly? What would they say then?
They're clueless about how business works, and this is when you can tell, because if you have ever seen any kind of tech company, she came in and she did what she had to do. It was not pretty. But they always talk about the 30,000 jobs they lost, not the 80,000 jobs she saved. You know, it's always a way of tearing her down. And I think it's really a sideways bullshit thing from the left, because they're always like, you know, women should be recognized for being leaders. And she was a real leader, and she did what had to be done, and she survived that whole tech implosion. HP survived. Gateway and the others, they didn't survive it. The company came back and still exists, and no one gives her credit for that. And I think it's really disingenuous of the left to attack her, because she did something that if it had been a man who done that, it would not be anything they would use against him in this. But they're going to use it against her because she's a woman, and
Yep.
they have to tear her down.
And last but not least, the guy who won the debate and has won, in my opinion, the other two, Marco Rubio. I don't care what anyone says. The guy was fantastic tonight.
Oh, he's always good. I've never seen him in a debate where I'm like, He always makes me proud of my country. He gets me excited about getting out there and working. He gets people motivated. I mean, there's something about him that is great. But what pisses me off about this whole thing with him is no matter how great he is, there are these people out there, well, he was a part of the Eightful Eight. I'm like, you know what? You'll forgive Trump for basically saying, kill a baby when it's born because I'm that pro-abortion, but you won't give Rubio a break for being a dumb young senator who did something stupid and figured out it was wrong. That's what drives me crazy. Rubio is going to have a really hard time, even if he's wonderful, convincing those idiots who are, well, he's for amnesty and he's going to flood us with Mexicans. I mean, that is what he has to go up against.
I just think that when I envision a Republican candidate going up against anybody on the left, if you put Marco Rubio in a debate with those folks, it's over, because
he destroys them.
He will absolutely, in an articulate way, destroy them in every single way. And when you look at the Sun Sentinel attack, in which he was asked that question, he answered that better than anybody. His answer back to Bush in regards to him being a part-time senator, fantastic.
Perfect. Yeah.
His vocational education answer, he's the only one who talks about this. I will say, in what I do for a living, one of the questions, or one of the things I get a lot from a lot of my clients, is they have a hard time finding qualified people to do the job they need them to do. Because no one in this country actually wants to go to vocational school. They either don't want to go to school at all, or they want to make $500,000 a year as a trader on Wall Street. Well, I got news for you, folks. People need to still make things here in America. And our manufacturing jobs are gone because no one does the job or has the skills to do the jobs.
Right.
Plus, our taxes are insane. He does a great job of doing that. Really quick before we go into...
But nobody wants to accept that Americans won't do a job. But it's the reality. We have young people who go to college and get a fine arts degree because they're deep and they want to change the world. But then they can't write a basic sentence when they get out of college.
Sure. Yeah, I mean they get a master's degree in East German language theory and can't do anything with the degree. You could have come out of high school and possibly, gone to a vocational school for 2 years, and you could be making, $80,000 repairing jets for all I care. But no.
We need welders. And this is in Wyoming. Welders make like $40 an hour. I'm not shitting you.
And no one can do it.
I'm like, damn, I'm going to go back to school. I'm
yeah,
gonna
really.
Be a welder.
Really quick, Sam. Your top three, if you had to rank them, go.
Cruz, Rubio, Fiorina.
That's mine too.
Oh my God!
You're kidding me.
No, those are my top three.
Rubio and Fiorina are back and forth for me. I don't know which one's second or third. Cruz is my top guy, but Fiorina and Rubio are. Holy crap! Well, once again, or for the rare time, Sam, we are absolutely in agreement on our top three candidates. That's crazy.
Hey, I know.
Wow.
Write it down.
Well, you know what else we're in agreement in?
No.
Are we in agreement that RWNJ funding is the way to go if you want to raise funds from your friends or supporters? Is that the way to do it? Or are you one of these big establishment like Kickstarter, GoFundMe people?
No, I think, well, when I originally started raising money for my show like 2 years ago, there were no options. So I didn't have any choice but GoFundMe, really. So, but now that there was a choice, I would totally go with someone who actually agreed with what I do. Absolutely.
Yes, and that's what our friends at RWNJ Funding do every single time. Again, they don't bow to PC pressure or the politically correct police. That doesn't happen with them. There's an alternative that has a company that has your principles and values in mind. It's rwnjfunding.com. If you want to fund, whether it's for a loved one with medical issues, whether it's you wanting to get a new product off the ground, whether it's you wanting to launch your radio program into the next level, rwnjfunding.com is the way you can do that, and you should definitely check them out. Either go to polititainment.net and click on the RWNJ Funding banner on the page, or just simply go to rwnjfunding.com. And again, the first 10 signups that raise $100, RWNJ Funding is going to put in an extra $10 just to help you get your cause and campaign started. Again, go to polititainment.net, click on the RWNJ Funding banner, or simply go to rwnjfunding.com. All right, Sam.
That was good. I like that. He's a good guy.
He is. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk Halloween, folks. You want to talk a debate? We got another debate coming up. It involves Halloween. Stay tuned. That's next here on According to Me and Buddy. In our best efforts to anger Bernie Sanders, and because we believe in capitalism, According to Me and Buddy will be back after these messages from our sponsors. All right, Polititainment Patriots, we're going to pull the audience here. Raise your hand if you know all that is to be known and all the ins and outs about workplace and employment law. Huh? There's only one guy with his hand raised. Well, that doesn't surprise me. But anyway, go ahead and ask me a question. What is it? Oh, who knows anything about workplace and employment law? I'm glad you asked. It's the guy raising his hand. Proud sponsor of Polititainment and an expert you can trust, attorney Ted Hong. Are you an employee who's been fired or being denied benefits for being a crazy right-wing extremist? Or are you a business owner who wants to make sure the feds and unions don't come after you for non-compliant workplace regulations or labor contracts? Well, then you need Ted Hong. Ted's been doing this for over 30 years. Plus, him and his amazing legal team also handle family and property law and estate litigation. You need to call our guy, attorney Ted Hong, at 808-933-1919 or visit tedhonglaw.com. Ted Hong, an experienced and principled attorney you can trust. 808-933-1919 or tedhonglaw.com. Hey, Sam, do you have any advice for those who miss our show when we're live every Wednesday night?
Yeah, they can stop hating America.
Well, obviously, but besides that.
Well, they can check out the podcasts.
That's true. You can catch According to Me and Bunny podcasts on SoundCloud, on Stitcher, on Spreaker, on iTunes, on TuneIn.
We get it. They can find us everywhere because I'm so freaking awesome.
It's always got to be about the bunny.
Whatever.
The conversation doesn't have to stop just because we aren't live on the air.
You know, that's true. Chat with us before, during, and after every show by following us on Twitter.
Follow Jason, please. I'm tired of him whining about it. At ATM_show.
Yeah, and follow Sam on Twitter at PolitiBunny. Or don't follow her. It's not like she's going to notice.
Plus, use the hashtag #MeandBunny throughout the week, and we will read some of our favorite tweets you send on the air.
Hey, listen, I don't think we should be promoting hashtags. I mean, that's a states' rights issue.
Oh, brother. Follow Jason at ATM_show and follow me at PolitiBunny.
It's happening and nothing can stop it. It's the dramatic reinvention of talk radio.
Here come the Spy Dolphins.
The only thing that can cure racism is Robert E. Lee's penis.
Who named this cat Limberbutt McCubbin? A Trump-Biden debate.
Plugs versus rugs. Real serious nonsense. The show's so bad, you'll laugh at us.
The worst podcast. We obviously hold that title.
Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern of K98 Talk.
Are you conservative in a world of liberal?
Yep.
Well, you're not alone. Hey, I'm Daniel Stafford, host of the Stafford Voice, and I'd like to invite you to tune in each Monday, 10 p.m. Eastern, where I'll break down the events of the week, and together we'll learn about how they affect you. So, sit back and get ready for the good, the bad, and the ugly of talk radio right here on K98 Talk.
Shimon. Welcome back to the show, folks.
Don't ever do that again.
I was trying to think of my favorite scary song, even though it's not really scary, something that's has a little Halloween vibe to it. I was thinking it could either be that. I mean, there's many ones you could do. We could either do that as a scary song. It's Thriller. That's a good song. No one has any problem with that. Or I was thinking either that or this, Sam. Which one do you think I should have played?
If I can see it, then I can do it. If I just believe it, there's nothing to it.
Which one's scarier?
I believe I can fly.
I think the other one.
I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away.
Which one? I think the second one's actually, now that I play it, the second one's actually much scarier.
God, that's horrible.
That's William Hung. You remember William Hung. Now that's...
No.
You don't remember William Hung?
I deliberately forgot William.
From American Idol, remember when American Idol was a big deal?
Yes.
And the one guy's like, she bangs, she bangs.
Yeah, I don't need to relive.
Yeah, that's him. He recorded a whole album and he did I Believe I Can Fly, and it's awful. And that's much scarier, I think, than even Thriller, now that I play it out loud.
You're hurting my ears. Be nice.
Well, so
I had a hard day.
You have. Well,
my eyes got dilated. I can't see. My ears hurt now. Come on, man.
Okay, so she has no eyes and ears at this point, which is kind of a good thing.
It's so bad.
So let me ask you this, Sam. We've talked about this offline, and I figured this would be a fun conversation to have in front of all the listeners here as well. We just talked about coming together and having actually the same top 3 candidates when it comes to the GOP field. Which I didn't predict, but that's a cool thing. So we have some things we come together on. But I figured on nights like tonight in which we're having a debate, maybe we should also have a friendly little conversation about the most overrated holiday of the year, which is the holiday we're about to celebrate here this Saturday. Of course, you think it's blasphemy. I just think as an adult, it's an overrated holiday. As a kid, I get it. As an adult, what's the big flippin' deal? Discuss.
I just think you're a giant party pooper. I mean, Halloween's great. Here's the thing with me and Halloween. I love it so much that my husband and I got married the day before Halloween so that we could kind of celebrate Halloween at our wedding, but not lose Halloween because we got married. That's how much Halloween matters in my house.
Yes,
I am 42 years old. I love it. My house is decorated. I have pumpkins everywhere. We have a red light on our porch. We have a pumpkin tree in our front yard where we go out and we literally hang plastic pumpkins from the tree because I frickin' love Halloween. Love it.
I have some pumpkins in the front of my home. If you walk up to my doorstep, you will see some pumpkins that my kids got with their grandma and grandpa this weekend at the pumpkin farm. That's as far as my Halloween decorations go.
You
here
are
at the
such an
household.
Ebenezer Scrooge, dude. I mean,
it's just, I don't understand. I get it as a kid.
It's
as
awesome.
A kid,
it's so awesome.
As a kid, you get dressed, you go around, you go trick or treat, and you get candy. It's flippin' sweet. I get it.
You can still dress up. You should still dress up.
You can still dress up, but here's the way I look at it. I have, again, this is just me, and I'm probably in the minority here, but I'm used to that. I have 4 kids, so it's easily $80 in costumes minimum.
Oh yeah, I have 2
to get them dressed up, to then also buy easily another $30 to $40 worth of candy for them to get candy in exchange.
Yeah.
To me, and it's usually, again, maybe it's where I live. It's cold as hell every single time. You walk around, you get all the kids dressed up. They want to be out there for 15 minutes. You bring them in. It's just a pain in the ass. Like, personally, I just don't see the appeal of adults having a good old time in Halloween. And
you're complaining about cold Halloween, and I'm in Wyoming. Are you kidding me?
Oh, I bet it's about the same, if not colder here than it is in Wyoming right now.
Oh, BS. We've already had snow.
Well,
here's
okay.
the thing, though.
You beat us there.
When you live in Wyoming, you accept that it's going to be cold because it's October. And what you do is you buy costumes, maybe a size too big because your coat goes on underneath your costume. My kids, my daughter is a Victorian vampira. She's beautiful this year. She has a gorgeous velour gown. She's got fangs. We painted her face. She's got a little hat. My son is a special ops kid. I'm not kidding. He's got the big skull thing on and sunglasses and the headphones and the gun. And I mean, my kids go all out because their parents are crazy. I mean, if you look at my Facebook page, there are pictures of my husband and I dressed up as clowns because we take part in a haunt and scare the shit out of people. I mean, that's Halloween to me. I love it.
And maybe now, were your parents big into Halloween?
No.
Okay. So it wasn't what you grew up with. Was it more your husband who really made that you, or did you grow up liking it regardless?
I've always loved. Now, I'm a theater kid. I have always loved to dress up and be someone else, so that could be part of it too.
So do I, girl.
Yeah, I love it. And I've always, I mean, I remember being 3 years old and dressed up as a lion. And, you know, but when we were kids, and this is kind of like, oh, we're those old people when we walked barefoot in the snow, but we had to make our costumes. It wasn't like you went to Party City or, what is it, Spirits, like you do now. We had to come up with our costumes, and that might be why I love it like I do now. It was punk rocker because you put garbage bags on, or it was a gypsy because your mom had a bunch of crappy scarves you could flow on and an earring. You know, it's just, for me, it's always been a really wonderful time of year. I love fall. I like it better than I like Christmas.
I love fall too, but see, you're insane to say that you like Halloween more than Christmas. That's just crazy talk.
Halloween's my favorite. Halloween, then Christmas, then Thanksgiving.
Well, speaking of favorites, really quick, this is why I want to also, your proud state of Wyoming.
Yes.
Want to take a guess, by the way, what the favorite candy, Halloween candy, according to Influencer, which, by the way, is a social media polling company, which they use social media, use Facebook, they use Twitter, to find people based on their states and ask them questions to kind of get an idea what people per state may say about a certain thing. So one of the questions, this was asked between September 20th and 29th, what is America's favorite Halloween candy by state in 2015? Take a wild guess what Wyoming's top candy is for Halloween.
Ted just said it's Rocky Mountain oysters. That's disgusting, Ted.
That is disgusting.
No, I'm going to guess.
But this is just as disgusting as Rocky Mountain oysters, by the way.
Have
almost.
you had them? Have you ever had Rocky Mountain oysters?
No, but I'm telling you, this is almost as disgusting. It can't be much worse.
I'm going to say candy corn.
Candy freaking corn. Are you kidding me? Of all the candy that you can choose, Wyoming, you pick candy corn.
Well, but it's kind of a traditional candy.
Oh, my God.
It's an affordable candy. You know, Wyoming is a very conservative, by-the-book state. Candy corn is a staple. That doesn't surprise me at all.
Okay, yeah. Guess who else's favorite candy? A very conservative. Yeah. Oregon also likes candy corn.
Oregon likes candy corn?
Yes.
Well, they have lots of corn there.
So does Texas. So does South Carolina.
It's because it's a badass. It's a good candy.
No, it's not. It's awful, and people with any sense of taste buds know it's awful.
Mix it with peanuts.
No.
Like salty peanut. It's wonderful.
No,
I'm not
it's
kidding. When we lived in Wisconsin, it was like one of the biggest things was to dump candy corn in with peanuts. It was so delicious.
It would be better with peanuts. I would agree with that. Speaking of Wisconsin, they have a weird one, too, by the way. They and South Dakota both rated Laffy Taffy as their favorite Halloween candy.
Laffy Taffy. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, kind of weird. I didn't see that.
I like candy. I like this time of year, man. I think it's good.
Do you want to know what Bernie Sanders in Vermont, what his state, their favorite candy? They love it a lot. So do the people in Washington, D.C. as well. They like this, too.
Probably something with figs in it or something gross.
Almond Joy.
You know, it's okay after it gets nasty after you have too many. Like, 1 is really good. 2 is like, it's a little cloying. 3, forget it.
Yeah, great. By the way, it's weird to see this. By the way, I'm in Indiana. Reese's Pieces. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with Reese's Pieces. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's like M&M wannabe, but it's peanut butter. I don't get it.
Oh, whatever. So you have, but there's some interesting ones that I saw. By the way, Arizona, Toblerone is the top Halloween candy.
What is that?
Have you ever seen those? They kind of look like a Tootsie Roll in a way, but more of a fancy Tootsie Roll. I guess would be the best way to describe it. If you guys are in the chat room, if you can give me a better description of Toblerone, go for it. But real fancy type right there in Arizona. They're giving out them Toblerone things.
Toblerone.
Yeah, $100,000 in Hawaii. They love $100,000. So does Minnesota.
$100,000 is good, man. It's crunchy and chocolatey and caramely. It's awesome.
It's interesting. If you guys want to check, I'll share this on the Facebook page. But again, top Halloween candy by state. Found this kind of interesting as well. New Jersey, Sour Patch Kids. Pennsylvania, Swedish Fish. I love Swedish Fish, by the way.
I do too. I like Swedish Fish.
Those are good.
Yeah.
But yeah, by the way, Tennessee also likes candy corn.
Hey.
There's like 5 states who rated candy corn the best. What are you people doing?
Because it's traditional yummy goodness.
Bad.
Tommy.
It's bad.
Whatever.
And everyone knows it. Our friend Ted Hong's in the chat room, and he knows that candy corn's bad. He's a man of good taste, and you know he is.
Haters. You're all haters.
No, we're those of actual decent taste. Speaking of hating, really quick. Well, maybe not hating. Before we get into our Amazon sponsors of the week, and then, of course, we have the Asshead of the week, we actually were going to do 2 things. First off, we were going to have some taste tests live in the air of Halloween-related stuff. Now, Sam, are you the typical white girl who loves everything pumpkin? Oh, my God, I like pumpkin spice lattes and pumpkin everything. No,
I'm not a really big... I mean, I like pumpkin pie, and, pumpkin shakes are okay, I think, but I'm not a big pumpkin girl, no.
I will admit, pumpkin's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a white girl, but I do like pumpkin. I will say that. Now... we were going to do 2 things. We were going to, by the way, I'm drinking a Jacko Traveler Pumpkin Shandy. If you've never had Traveler beer, you're missing out. It's actually very, very good. It's empty now, by the way. There's the bottle going down. But yeah, so having that. But we were actually going to, on the show, we talked about this a little bit last week. I wanted to have one of the Halloween Whoppers with the black bun, that has A1 baked into it. And... so I had Sam agree to do it. She said she was going to, even though she was scared to. And today I went to Burger King to buy one prior to the show, and they're like, yeah, we don't sell that anymore.
No more Halloween burgers.
No more Halloween Whopper. So I'm like, damn it. Well, that ruins half of the taste test bit. But we were talking about this off the air. Sam, do you want to tell the friendly folks who are listening to the program why you didn't want to actually do the Whopper taste test live on the air with me? The real reason?
You're trying to get me to talk about poop. I know what you're up to. No, here's the thing. I'm not a big Burger King girl anyway. But, I'm sure a lot of people saw the news stories out there that basically said that these burgers will turn your poop green. And I was not a fan of anything that would make my poop green, so I had no interest. Plus, again, Burger King just doesn't seem to agree with me very much, and so I didn't want to do that.
And unless I have, puddles of blood in my poop, I don't care what color it is. And why are you looking at it in the first place?
Why would you have puddles? If you have puddles of blood in your poop, you need to go to the doctor.
That I would agree with. But why would it freak you out that it would change? Who cares? Are you looking at it and studying it?
Yes. You need to look at your poop. People in the chat room, you need to look at your poop. No, seriously, because the color and consistency of your poop can tell you if you're unhealthy. I'm a mom. I have seen poop of all colors and all shapes. It comes with being a mother, but I also take care of myself. Jason, you need to look at your poop.
Well, I'm not. I will. Anyway. No, I don't stare at my poop. So I wouldn't care if it was green, if it was black, if it was... I don't care.
I didn't say stand up and look at it longingly. I said just make sure the color and consistency is healthy. Otherwise, you need to go to the doctor.
And I will say I'm the only one who says this. Because, again, the Polititainment family, of course, which is, of course, me and Bunny, Angie and Clay of Real Serious Nonsense, and our good friend Daniel Stafford of the Stafford Voice, we have a chat where we conversate back and forth throughout the week on the Facebooks. And everyone's like, dude, why don't you check your poop? I'm like, what are you people talking about?
Angie agreed with me. Angie's a mother, too.
So did Daniel.
Like, you gotta look at your poop, dude. Guys, people in the chat, here's your PSA. Look at your poop. Make sure you're healthy. There you go.
Anyway, I wouldn't care what color. But speaking of, here, yes. So you're going to look at your poop after we eat what we're about to eat?
I'm not, I look at my poop every day, so I might. So there.
All right, so we have, and I'm an Oreo fan. Do you like Oreos?
They're all right.
They're all right. I'm going to make a sacrifice here because I'm doing this on the show. I never eat Oreos without milk. I refuse. I'm also not one of those weirdos who takes it apart and licks the cream or any of this crap. I just eat the damn thing. But I always have milk to dunk it in, and I'm not going to do that for the sake of radio because, I'm a professional.
Yeah. You want to, make sure. Now, what is the cookie that we're eating?
We're eating the Oreo Pumpkin Spice Oreo. I've been staring at them for about the last hour here in the Kensington Place studios, so we're going to eat them. You ready?
I'm going to try one. I'm not eating them.
Well, I'm going to have one. I'm not going to eat 3 of them. I'm just going to eat one. I may eat them after the show.
It smells, dude. I don't like how it smells.
It smells like a candle.
It smells like you're gonna set it on fire in your house.
Yeah, doesn't it smell like one of those Yankee candles you'd light, like Pumpkin Harvest? Like one of those.
It's yucky. All right, I'm gonna try it. Are you ready?
All right, that's ready. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2. That's horrible.
That's not bad.
That's terrible.
That's not bad at all.
It tastes like fake icing.
Yeah. Well, wait.
What?
As you swallow it, it's a lot better.
It doesn't get better. No.
No, it does.
No.
When you chew it and crunch it in your mouth, it's When you swallow it, you're like, oh, that's not bad. I'm gonna finish it.
You want to? It's like you're eating something for the aftertaste.
Yeah, the aftertaste is actually better than the actual taste of it in your mouth, I guess.
I'm not eating the rest of that.
That's pretty good. Not bad.
Gross.
Well, speaking of gross, really quick, before we get in the ass out of the week,
of
course, as you know, we always talk about here on the show, the Amazon.com, of course, is a proud partner of your friends here at Politainment. And so you buy stuff on Amazon all the time. I know that you do. And so you can either go to Amazon.com and be, a person who hates capitalism and hates Politainment, or you can go to Politainment.net, click on the Amazon banner at the top of the page, and buy amazing stuff like you always do. It doesn't cost you anything more, no extra charges, none of that. But a portion of everything you buy goes to your friends at Politainment. Like this, for example. We've talked about so many great items. Last week, we talked about Goosh Pants. Amazing feedback from those who listen. But I have 2 items this week because I couldn't decide which one's better. And, Sam, I'm going to need a total of $8 from you this week to buy both of these items.
You owe me $4 of these crappy Oreos anyway.
Okay, fine.
I'm just saying.
Well, fine. Then I need $4 then, and I'll pay for one. You pay for the other. So, especially when we're talking about people not being able to do math, like they said in the debate.
Mm-hmm.
On Amazon.com, for the low price of $4.95, you can buy 100 plastic pennies for education. Yeah, it's plastic coins that look like pennies. There's 100 of them, and they're $5.
Why don't you just use real pennies for $1?
Because these are educational. Duh.
Okay.
So, $5, you get 100 plastic pennies, free shipping. What are you complaining about?
Hey, right. Good.
I just don't, so that's a great item if you're looking for Kwanzaa gifts for Sam. She's interested in that. Where you can get 100 plastic pennies for educational purposes for $5. I'm sure that Bernie Sanders bought those because he can do math so well. I'm going to buy plastic pennies and make sure people count them.
I'm going to distribute them.
Yeah, exactly. Redistribution of plastic pennies. But Sam wants that, or maybe she wants this. There's another book, and some of the books we've, of course, shared with you. Scared by Force by Aliens. We talked about Conquered by Clippy. Both great books. I think this may be my favorite one yet. Just the title alone makes me want to read it. But I'm going to give you the description of the book here really quick. You ready?
Yeah.
When Carl's bro sends him photos of a hot and sexy unicorn,
stop.
He can't help but get turned on.
Stop.
But when Carl discovers that the unicorn of his dreams was once a reality TV star,
Dinosexual.
And he's a conservative who's thrown into this whirlwind of self-destruction and culminating in a literal encounter with his sexual identity fears. And the name of the book, and I want this for Kwanzaa, folks, if you're listening, the title of the book that you can get on Amazon.com for the low price of $2.99, Angry Man Pounded by the Fear of His Latent Gayness Over a Dinosaur Transitioning into a Unicorn. That's the name of the book. Once again, angry man pounded by the fear of his latent gayness over a dinosaur transitioning into a unicorn. That and plastic pennies can be yours on Amazon.com. I'm not making that up, folks in the chat room. I'm too lazy. Please look it up really, really quick because we're running pressed for time. I apologize. Let's do a really quick ass hat of the week.
Oh, yeah, do your ass hat.
For this week's Ass Hat of the Week.
Normally, normally we talk, I go on a diatribe. I'm just going to play audio, and Sam, I'm going to leave the mics on so we can react. We have an election coming up soon, November 2nd in Mississippi, or November 3rd in Mississippi. It's important that Addie Lee Green gets your vote because she's going to take on the really hard issues. Listen to Addie Lee Green. If you don't want to vote for this person, you're crazy.
I am Addie Lee Green, and I am running to be your next Commissioner of Agriculture and Commerce, and for a new day for Green Mississippi. Jobs, farmers market, inspection, vegetables, and all its regulation. As Commissioner, I plan to help organize the youth, young adults, and seniors in the 82 counties of Mississippi through the USDA on farming, produce, and products, with schools, colleges, and universities through our various forms of communication, utilities, development, nuclear, solar, ethanol, and other resources using accessibility to technology. I will work with the legislature, the world, and local municipalities to ensure control and work to lower the cost of food and health care for farmers and raise the pay for farmer workers. If President and Mrs. Obama can teach us how to use a hoe at the White House, then every America should have a garden and a hoe at their home. If you believe in the importance of agriculture, as I do, then I ask you to pray, support, and vote. I need for everyone to wobble to the poll on Tuesday, November the 3rd, and vote Addie Lee Green for Commissioner of Agriculture and Commerce.
She's running. She is your Ebonics Party nominee.
Oh my God.
Folks, do me a favor. Somebody in the chat room, because I'm too lazy. Please, Tuesday night, somebody in Mississippi, keep track of the fact that Addie Lee Green could possibly be the Commissioner of Agriculture for the state of Mississippi. God, if there's a God listening right now, make that happen. Please.
Jason, you have to know this really quick before you sign off. So your whole pounded gay or whatever by Unicorn?
Yes.
It's a freaking series. Did you know that?
No.
There's
then I guess we have an Amazon product to talk about next week now, don't we?
Like pounded, one is pounded by the gay unicorn football squad. I'm not kidding.
See? These are the things I do for our listeners. This is why I love you so much.
Hose.
But
we need
Addie Lee Green, I think one qualification you should have is that you actually have the ability of reading and speaking English in order to actually be a nominee. But I guess that doesn't really stop Trump. No. So anyway, Addie Lee Green, you're this week's Ass Hat of the Week.
She has nose.
Tune in next week for another exciting installment of Ass Hat of the Week.
That's going to put the finishing touches on this week's episode of According to Me and Bunny. We wrapped up the GOP debate. Sam told you to look at your poop. We ate pumpkin Oreos, which I thought they were okay. She didn't like them so much.
Disgusting. Don't eat them.
We learned that Addie Lee Green needs your votes, and she can't talk. We wrapped up the GOP debate, and we learned that Halloween's overrated, but you already knew that. But that's going to put the finishing touches on this week's show. Thank you so much for being here. Sam, did you have a lot of fun? Did you enjoy yourself this week?
Halloween kicks ass. Yes, I had a great time. It was fun.
Well, I'm glad that you guys were listening. We'll be back next week faster than you could say furious. But until then, good night, America.
Thanks, guys.